Hello and welcome to VSU-TV News. I'm Hailey Shivers.
And I'm Meghan Schunhoff. Coming up, Amy Carter and Ellis Black may switch political parties.
And the Secretary of State's office files a lawsuit. VSU-TV News starts now. State Representative Amy Carter has considered switching to the Republican Party in the state legislature. In a statement released Monday, Carter says she is seeking the advice of her supporters to determine what is best for Valdosta as a whole. Democratic Representative Ellis Black is also considering such a move.
Early voting for the November 30th runoff election has already begun. Valdosta will take place between 8 and 5 p.m. at 2808 North Oak Street. The two main races on the ballot are for Valdosta City Council and State Supreme Court Justice.
The Secretary of State's office has filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Justice Department. Secretary of State Brian Kemp wants to enforce a state law that requires people to prove they are U.S. citizens before they vote. Georgia is required by Federal Voting Rights Act to have every change in voting pre-cleared by the Justice Department.
According to a survey of 6,000 credit union members, 97% of Georgians will be more careful with their holiday spending this year than last year. In fact, 3/4 of the respondents said they would use cash to make their purchases. Just over half of the shoppers said they would spend as much as last year.
A Moultrie man has been charged with breaking and entering into 2 Moultrie businesses. Justin Howard is charged with first-degree arson and 2 counts of burglary. The fire department was called to the UPS store in Pat's Place with a small fire occurring inside. They put out the fire, but there was smoke and water damage to both businesses. Both stores had cash missing from their registers.
A Madison County man was charged recently with a misdemeanor public indecency after he exposed himself to a woman as he drove through Lowndes County. Matthew David Boyd pulled alongside a woman on I-75 Saturday and revealed himself. The woman called 911 and followed Boyd to Locklar Road, where he was pulled over by officers. He has been released on a $1,500 bond.
Coming up, VSU's enrollment increases again.
And we'll tell you why Valdosta still has a smoke advisory. Stay with us.
Lazy bones, loping through the day.
All over America, we're no longer just sedentary, we're stationary. And that's bad news for your bones. Because bones need weight-bearing activity to grow strong and stay strong. So get up, get out, get moving. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Never heard a word I say.
I am the port in the storm.
I am the line in the sand.
I am the enforcer of the sea.
The United States Coast Guard will see you and prepare your boarding.
We are the defenders of the homeland. We are the shield of freedom. We are the United States Coast Guard.
Heed your country's call. Join the Coast Guard or Coast Guard Reserve.
Hello, I'm Andrew Young. I was formerly ambassador to the United Nations and mayor of Atlanta. Now I'm with Good Works International. Everywhere I've been in the world, the people whom I've seen who are most appreciated are people from the Peace Corps. Whenever somebody says, how can I get to be an ambassador in international business, I say, join the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps will redefine your world and change your life.
This year has been a record year for enrollment at VSU. The student head count is 12,898, up more than 500 students from last year. This is the largest increase for the University System of Georgia's research and regional institutes. The growth also brought an economic impact of $16 million for Valdosta and South Georgia. VSU students currently represent 174 Georgia counties, 49 states, and 76 countries.
The Valdosta Lowndes County Industrial Authority will host a panel discussion and information exchange on the Wiregrass Power LLC biomass electric generating plant. The community is invited to get information about planning, development, and construction of the biomass plant. The panel discussion will be held at the Rainwater Conference Center Monday, December 6th from 7:30 to 9 p.m.
A tuberculosis screening was made public by the South Health District. The testing was conducted on inmates and staff members of the Lowndes County Jail. After a series of skin tests, it was shown that 12 out of 318 people were tested have been exposed to tuberculosis in their lifetime. This indicates that these individuals do not have an active part of the disease or a risk of spreading it. The Lowndes County Jail conducts routine tuberculosis testing for any prisoner who has been there after 2 weeks.
Although the rain cleared out much of the smoke yesterday, the wildfire is still burning in Clinch County. The fire started last Wednesday in the Arabia Bay Swamp in northern Clinch County. Although rangers have plowed the perimeter of the bay, 5,000 acres are still expected to burn this week. Residents of Lanier, Atkinson, and Clinch have seen smoke for several days, but with a shift in winds, the smoke could spread. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Drivers are urged to use caution if they come upon areas of dense smoke.
Now taking a look at your local forecast, today's weather looks gorgeous with partly sunny skies and a high of 69. Tonight expect temperatures to drop to 38 degrees. Tomorrow will also be partly sunny with a high of 71 and a low of 39. Going into the weekend, expect fog with a high of 72 and not so low of 49 degrees. Pollen levels are low with a predominant in juniper and ragweed. So Josh, what's it look like in Blazer Nation this week?
Well, the VSU football team is preparing for the first round of the playoffs this weekend, and I'll tell you who they're playing when we come back.
A year ago, Mark and I thought, air pollution, global warming. How can we make a difference? So Mark modified our car, some sort of homemade energy source.
The best part is the car emits only helium. Genius.
But the EPA says the energy we use in our home can cause twice the greenhouse gases of a car. So now I look for products that are in the Energy Star. Simple.
The EPA invites you to go to EnergyStar.gov to discover what you can do to reduce air pollution.
The stem cell issue is being debated throughout the country. Truth is, most everyone has an opinion, even if they don't know the facts.
Let's stop arguing and start really understanding the potential of stem cell research.
For us and for millions of Americans living with disabilities, get the facts.
Call 1-877-842-3442 for free information from the Stem Cell Research Foundation. That's 1-877-842-3442.
Every year, 350,000 people are diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Who will be their caregivers?
I am a caregiver.
Yo soy la que cuida a mi abuelo.
I'm a caregiver.
Call 1-800-437-2423 for a free brochure from Alzheimer's Disease Research on caring for those you care for the most. 1-800-437-2423.
I'm a caregiver.
Hello, Valdosta. I'm Josh Colwell, and this is your sports update. The VSU Blazers are gearing up for the first round of the Division II playoffs. The Blazers finished the regular season with a loss to West Alabama and moved to 8-2 on the season and 6-2 in conference play. With a loss to West Alabama, VSU received the third seed in the playoff bracket. The Blazers will now face conference rival North Alabama on home turf this Saturday. In the first meeting between the two teams this season, the Black Swarm defense held North Al scoreless to win 5-0. VSU will likely alternate between Brett Whitmire and Austin Roberts at starting quarterback. Game time is set for 1 p.m. this Saturday at Bazemore Hyder Stadium. This weekend, two of our intramural flag football teams, men's and women's, will travel to the state championship at Georgia Southern. They will take on teams from major universities throughout Georgia. If our teams win there, they will go on to the Nationals, where they will play intramural teams from all around the country. The Georgia Bulldogs and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are both coming off tough losses this past weekend. The Bulldogs are now 5-6 on the season, while the Jackets are 5-5. Georgia Tech will face the Duke Blue Devils this weekend, and with a win, the Jackets will become bowl eligible. The Dogs are taking the week off to prepare for the Jackets, and with a victory over Tech, UGA would also become bowl eligible. The game will be held in Athens this year and marks the 105th meeting between the two teams. Georgia has an advantage in the series with a record of 60-39. The rivalry dates all the way back to 1893. This Friday, the Blazers will be back on the hardwood as they play host to Southern Wesleyan. Last night, the Blazers blistered Fort Valley's Wildcats in a 93-83 win. VSU had 3 players, including Kevin Harris, Billy McShepard, and Will Alston, to tally up double-doubles, while Tristan Steele remained scorching hot from the trifecta, scoring a team-high 26 points. Come out to support your Blazers at the complex Friday night. Tip-off is set for 7:30 p.m. Last night in the rematch of this postseason matchup between Fort Valley and VSU, the Lady Wildcats outscored the Lady Blazers 62-56. Zenzi Hardy led the Lady Blazers with 19 points. She was the only player for VSU in double figures. The Lady Blazers are looking to rebound this Saturday when they play host to their regional rival, Tampa, at the complex. Jump ball is set for 7 p.m. The high school playoffs are in full swing as many local schools were successful in the first round last week. The Valdosta Wildcats will be back in action Friday night as they travel to McEachern to take on the Indians. The Cats took down Windsor Forest last week 34-14. The Cats and the Indians are set to kick off at 8 o'clock. The Lowndes Vikings prepare to host Noonan High Friday night in round 2 of the state playoffs. The Vikings cruised past Groves 42-6 last week. With a win, the Vikings will take on either Collins Hill or Roswell next week in round 3. Frank Wren wasted no time making major changes to the Braves lineup this offseason. After a disappointing exit from the postseason thanks to some shaky defense, the Braves have made their first big move of the offseason. Yesterday, the Braves traded lefty Michael Dunn and all-star utility man Omar Infante to Florida for 2-time all-star second baseman Dan Ugla. And that's a look at sports.
Thanks, Josh. Coming up, the annual tree lighting.
And the Beatles join iTunes. Stay with us.
Someday, I'll be a ballerina, just like them. And this will be my stage, where I twirl and float and swirl. Someday, this won't just be my wish. Someday, I won't be sick.
Salam.
Jam.
Salam. Ewa.
Ride. Kapaya pa. Pa.
Mir. Shanti. Yep, Changyok di.
We all want the same thing.
Peace.
And Rotary clubs
Sola.
are making it happen.
Lucky.
Through international scholarships for young people to promote peace and understanding
La Fe.
around the world. Rotary. Humanity in motion.
Our magnificent trees have helped shape the American spirit. Trees that clear the air and protect the land. Thick forests of pine, birch trees, and apples. One tree has been selected by the people to represent all of America's trees. The oak, America's national tree. Go to the Arbor Day Foundation website, arborday.org. See which oaks or other great American trees are right for planting where you live. Discover the oak, America's national tree.
The Valdosta Symphony Orchestra invites you to attend Magnificent Mozart this Saturday night. With 175 voices, the orchestra presents 4 separate choruses united to present Mozart's Great Mass. The concert is believed to include the largest assembly of singers ever presented in the VSO history. The concert will be held in Whitehead Auditorium at 8 p.m.
The College of the Arts will conclude the semester art exhibits with the Senior Art Exhibit. Graduating senior art students will showcase their best work from now until December 6th in the VSU Fine Arts Gallery. Many of the pieces will be on sale to the public at this time. Works include ceramics, paintings, graphic design, and much more. Stop by the gallery in the Fine Arts Building to view the impressive local art.
There was quite a sight to see at the Moody Air Show this weekend. Jasmine Smith has more on the story.
Despite the smoky skies from Clinch County, over 13,000 people attended the air show at Moody last Saturday. The Valdosta Air Force Base welcomed the public to its Community Appreciation Day that was full of exciting events and thrilling sights. Planes and helicopters flew overhead, while those below on the ground were able to get up close and personal with many of the aircrafts. Several visitors watching were once pilots themselves, and for one veteran, it was a day to look back and remember.
Remembering what I have done and knowing what I could do, because I'm here to support my brothers in freedom. I take an active part every single day to support the military of the United States of America, to support the Constitution for which it stands, and the personal freedom of everybody living within its borders.
People have come from all over to see the air show, and as you can see from behind me, it has been quite a success. Reporting for VSU-TV News, I'm Jasmine Smith.
The holiday season is fast approaching and Valdosta is starting to set up. The city will host the annual tree lighting next Wednesday at 2 p.m. in front of City Hall. The festivities include entertainment from children of the Moody Air Force Base youth programs and family of deployed soldiers as personal guests of Mayor John Freddy. Hot beverages and light refreshments will be served after the ceremony. This event is free to the public.
On Saturday, Relay for Life will hold its Race to Thanksgiving 5K. Registration begins in front of West Hall at 7 a.m. and the race begins at 8. Runners will begin their course on Georgia Avenue and loop around campus, ending back at West Hall. Awards will be given to the top male and female in several categories. All donations will benefit the fight against cancer.
Blazers will get their boogie on as they dance for a cure on Saturday. The dance marathon, We Are For the Kids, will be hosted by the Office of Student Life in partnership with the Children's Miracle Network. In hopes of raising money for this nonprofit organization, VSU fraternities, sororities, and other campus groups will hit the dance floor. The event begins at 8 a.m. and lasts until midnight. For more information, visit dancemarathon.com.
Can't Buy Me Love? Some might disagree now that the Beatles have arrived to iTunes. Fans can now purchase from a selection of 13 albums or individual songs. Some might wonder what took so long. The Beatles' holdout was due to a trademark dispute. Today, there are several artists like Kid Rock who still refuse to sell their music on iTunes because they want to control the pricing. Thank you for joining us. I'm Meghan Schunhoff.
And I'm Hailey Shivers. Have a great day.
Hello and welcome to VSU-TV News. I'm Ashli Reese.
And I'm Taylor Austin. Coming up, Valdosta police say they've caught the Super 8 motel robber.
And a multi-million-dollar drug bust. VSU-TV News starts now. Two people have been arrested and charged in connection with the multi-million-dollar marijuana bust in Lowndes County. Gilberto Martinez and Carol Fernandez, both of Coral Gables, Florida, were charged today with trafficking and manufacturing marijuana. Martinez was also charged with possession of marijuana. Lowndes County Sheriff's Office found 888 marijuana plants in their home during a bust Monday. Both remain in the Lowndes County Jail, and no bond has been set yet.
The alleged Super 8 motel robber was arrested and charged late last night. Police say that on Monday afternoon, Antonio Jose Cools entered the lobby of the hotel and asked the clerk to use the restroom. After pointing Cools in the right direction, police say Cools struck the clerk in the face and stole money from the cash register, along with Wild Adventures tickets. Cools was arrested by the Valdosta Police Department and charged with robbery, along with other charges.
The Valdosta Police Department is searching for yet another suspect. Johnny J. Williams is wanted in connection with a forgery ring that is passing stolen checks. Police say checks were stolen from business burglaries over the past few months. Williams is wanted for 2 felony counts of theft by receiving stolen property, criminal trespass, and theft by taking. Police are not ruling out charges against additional suspects in the forgery ring. The Valdosta Police Department is asking that anyone with information on the suspect to call 911 or the VPD crime tip line.
The Valdosta Police Department is currently looking for a wanted man in connection with stealing equipment from the city of Valdosta. 21-year-old Jarrell Octavia Sims is accused of stealing weed eaters, blowers, and chainsaws over the last 6 weeks. If you know this man or where he may be, you are asked to call the Valdosta Police Department.
A potential power rate increase has stirred up controversy in the Peach State. The Georgia Public Service Commission held another hearing today on a proposed rate increase for Georgia Power. If approved, this hike can add up to nearly $1.2 billion in charges over the next 3 years, increasing customers' monthly bill nearly $11. Georgia Power claims the rate increase is needed to pay for about $5 billion in recent infrastructure projects. Georgia Power is scheduled to answer any critics in early December. Coming up, voter turnout in the midterm elections.
And Valdosta goes green with electronics. Stay with us.
I've had a long and full life, marriage, jobs, kids, then the grandchildren came along. It took hard work and a lot of planning, but one thing I didn't plan on was macular degeneration. It's stealing my eyesight and my independence, and the disease will reach epidemic proportions as my children age. Call 1-800-437-2423 for free information from Macular Degeneration Research. 1-800-437-2423.
Christopher, your word is SIPC.
Could you use it in a sentence, please?
In the unlikely event that your brokerage firm goes out of business, SIPC is there to protect you.
Civic. C-I...
Don't know about SIPC, the Securities Investor Protection Corporation? That's okay. We can spell it out for you. Learn more at www.sipc.org.
She passed away about 6 months ago. It was really hard to learn that there was no cure. So we sought hospice care. The hospice people, they really helped. They made her feel comfortable. And they helped me and the girls, especially the girls. They're helping us get through this loss. Now, hospice people, they're good people. They're really good people.
One of the biggest surprises with the recent election is the voter turnout in Lowndes County. The Lowndes County Board of Elections completed the voter count this past weekend. Nearly 50% of Lowndes County registered voters cast their ballot in the November 2nd general election.
The city of Valdosta is recycling more than just paper and plastic. Jasmine Smith has more on the story.
According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, more than 100 million pounds of electronics are gathered each year for recycling purposes. For the past several years, the city of Valdosta, in partnership with both Keep Lowndes Valdosta Beautiful and Atlanta Recycling Solutions, have continued to host electronic recycling events.
We've been hosting an electronics recycling event for about 5 years now. We started off with one event in the spring and then added a fall event. It has become increasingly popular over the years, and one of the reasons why we want to do that is, of course, keep the recyclable material out of the landfills. We are losing quite a bit of capacity in our landfills today, and if we can keep a lot of the recyclable material out of those landfills, we can keep that space. It degrades the landfill and the quality of our groundwater, so it's important to recycle a lot of this electronics.
This past weekend, volunteers worked together at Mathis Auditorium to unload household items such as personal computers, printers, and televisions brought in by members of the community.
This is important because it gives residents, of Valdosta, Lowndes County, even some of the other neighboring areas, a chance to come in and dispose of their electronics in a responsible way. And I say responsible because the stuff can be recycled, it's going to be recycled.
At the e-cycling event held this past May, an impressive 70,000 pounds of electronics were collected. And think, that's 70,000 pounds that could have reached the landfills. Reduce, reuse, and recycle are the words of today's more environmentally conscious society, so help to eliminate the amount of toxic waste that can reach landfills. From VSU-TV News, I'm Jasmine Smith.
This week marks the 3rd annual Georgia Apply to College Week. Until Friday, volunteers from state agencies, colleges, and communities will be at high schools assisting seniors. Students will receive help with college applications and their questions will be answered. College Week began with 8 schools in 2008, and now 109 schools across the state are participating.
The VSU Division of Student Affairs has launched the Blazer Pantry. This effort is sponsored by the Office of Volunteer Services and Parent Programs, Sodexo, and Second Harvest. The Pantry is a food collection for students that qualify for nutritional assistance. Students wanting assistance must live off campus, not have a campus meal plan, must be enrolled full-time, and present a valid VSU ID at the time of checkout. The pantry is located on the 3rd floor of the Student Union in the Division of Student Affairs. Hours of operation are Tuesday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Students will be limited to 1 visit every 2 weeks.
A new report shows that many kids' meals at fast food restaurants are still unhealthy. The report released by Yale University's Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity found that most of the meals are still larger than they need to be. There were over 3,000 kids' meals looked at, and only 12 met the nutritional criteria for preschoolers, while 15 met the nutrition criteria for older children.
Taking a look at the weather, things will warm up this weekend. Today, expect a partly sunny sky with a high of 78, and tonight's low dipping to 45. Tomorrow also looks good with a high of 75. The warm weather continues this weekend with temperatures staying in the mid-70s and lows in the mid-40s. Today's predominant pollen is ragweed, but overall the levels are low. And that's a look at weather.
So Brittany, I heard this week's the last regular season game for the Blazers.
That is correct, Taylor. And also coming up, I have information on the very first basketball game of the season.
Stay with us.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
The unveiling.
Oh, you look perfect.
Today, people seem to care a lot more about how good they look than how well they see. And that's a big mistake, because an eye doctor can see things you can't, like the first signs of glaucoma, diabetes, and high blood pressure. For men and women over 40, it might be wise to look into your eyes. Visit checkyearly.com. A message from the Vision Council of America and AARP.
Welcome to Valdosta State University. Beautiful, isn't it? Are you upset about pesticides in your food, crude oil in your oceans, littering in our streets, clear-cutting of national forests, the killing of dolphins and sea turtles, destruction of wetlands? Now's the time to join Students Against Violating the Environment. SAVE helps by raising awareness among the student and faculty body about environmental issues on campus, in the community, and around the world. It's easy to make a difference. Simply call this number and join SAVE. Think globally, act locally.
Hello, Valdosta. I'm Brittany Bates, and this is your sports update. The Blazers will travel to Livingston, Alabama tomorrow to take on the Tigers of West Alabama. West Alabama holds a record of 6-4 overall this season, while holding on to a 4-3 record in conference play. The Tigers are tough at home, with 3 of their victories being on their own turf. For VSU, this will be the last game of the season and the last conference game before the playoffs. The team is coming off a convincing win against West Georgia. Several Blazers did their part in that 31-13 win, including junior strong safety Harrison Drayling, as he earned his first GSC Player of the Week honor as a Blazer. Kicking off is set for 8 p.m. and can be viewed on analog cable Channel 5 and Digital 230. The Blazer basketball team will take on St. Leo for the first showdown of the season Friday night. Then on Saturday, they hit the hardwoods again as they play Rollins College. Tip-off for both teams is 8 p.m. in the PE complex. The Lady Blazers look for a win as they take on Edward Waters for the first time of the season. Come support the Lady Blazers at 6 p.m. in the PE complex on Saturday. And Hailey Shivers Hailey Shivers caught up with the men's basketball team to see how they were preparing for the season.
VSU basketball kicks off this week, and the men's Blazers are already fired up for a new season. After a scorching hot season that won them the NCAA championship and put them through to the Elite Eight, the Blazers are preparing for this season with practically a whole new team. Only 3 players are returning from last year, giving the new members big shoes to fill. One returning player says new or returning, they all share the same goal.
I mean, they're all the same as last year. We have a lot of new guys, same team and stuff, but we still have the same goals, and we still want to get back to the Elite Eight, try to win a national championship, all the same type of things, and we have a lot of talent to do it. So.
The Blazers had their best season ever with a 25-8 record last year and have practices under full swing in hopes of repeating their success.
I think we have, with this team this year, we got real strong guard play. We're kind of small at guard spots, but on the inside, we're pretty big. So, we'll be quicker. We'll be quicker than last year's team. So, that's a plus.
Even though the VSU basketball team only has 3 returning players this year, everyone seems very optimistic for the upcoming season. They also expect large crowds to show up and support them this year. For VSU-TV News, I'm Hailey Shivers.
The Lowndes Vikings will be back in action Friday night as they host Groves High. Last year, the Vikings had an early exit from the playoffs with a second-round loss to Camden High. The Vikings hope to look past their most recent loss to Tift High and come out swinging against Groves Friday at 8. The Valdosta Wildcats will host their first-round playoffs game Friday night as they host Windsor Forest. The Cats wrapped up the second spot in the region last week with a big win over Colquitt High to secure their first-round home game. The Cats and Knights kick off at 8 p.m. Friday at the Bazemore Hyder Stadium. And the Georgia Dome will be packed and loud as ever Thursday night. The AFC North leading Baltimore Ravens came into Atlanta to take on the NFC South leading Atlanta Falcons in the NFL Network's first game of the season. The Falcons are coming off a big win over division rival Tampa Bay last week. Winners of Thursday's contest will hold the best record in the NFL. The Atlanta Hawks are now 6-2 on the season after a disappointing loss to the Orlando Magic. This week marked the first 2 losses for the Hawks this season as they lost to the Phoenix Suns on Sunday. Individual talent has not been the issue for Atlanta as they have a full returning roster from last season that includes All-Stars Joe Johnson and Josh Smith. The Hawks will take on the Bucks at Milwaukee at 7 p.m. in the Phillips Arena. Come out to Buffalo Wild Wings tomorrow for a Blazer viewing party. Watch the Blazers as they take on West Alabama for the final game of their regular season. Prizes will be given away to Blazer fans. And that is a look at your sports.
Thanks, Britini. Coming up, get ready for Moody Air Show.
And VSU brings awareness to crime prevention. Stay with us.
And now, another adventure with Savings Man.
Look, honey, it's my Social Security statement.
Oh, gosh, how are we going to retire on that?
Never fear, young savers.
It's Savings Man.
You need to save more. You'll need this.
Oh, the ballpark estimate worksheet.
That's right. Get it at choosetosave.org and find out how much you'll need to save for your future.
Gee, thanks, Savings Man.
No, thank you.
So visit choosetosave.org and stay tuned for more Savings Man.
Half of young Americans can't locate economic powers like Japan and India. 20% can't even find the Pacific Ocean. Without geography, our children aren't ready for the world. Understanding connections between people and places is critical. So we created mywonderfulworld.org. Go there now for your free action kit. Help kids understand their world today so they can succeed in it tomorrow.
Guys, what do you got? Got a 28-year-old black male, got 3 gunshot wounds to the chest. 1 upper chest, 1 lower chest, 1 center. Bleeding a lot.
There are 2 paths a child can take.
Sir, try not to move. Still.
We have a 28-year-old male.
For over 25 years, we've been helping children choose the right one. Communities and schools, helping kids stay in school and prepare for life.
This Saturday marks the 2010 Moody Community Appreciation Day and Air Show. The show will take place at Moody Air Force Base starting at 9 a.m. If it rains, the air show will move to Sunday. The event is free, so bring the whole family.
VSU Campus Wellness is hosting a crime prevention seminar tomorrow evening at 7 in the UC Magnolia Room. The National Crime Prevention Task Force will address issues such as how to protect yourself from pickpocketing, what to do in a carjacking situation, as well as many other safety issues. For more information, visit the VSU homepage.
With the holiday season approaching, everyone isn't fortunate enough to get what is on their lists. Local Valdosta organizations and businesses are teaming up to help grant less fortunate children's needs. A holiday helper tree has been set up on the 3rd floor of the Student Union. The ornaments on the tree display the needs of the child in the community. Unwrapped gifts can be returned to the Student Affairs Office by November 30th.
The Blazer Corps of Cadets Detachment 172 is hosting its annual 5K this Saturday at 8 a.m. The race will begin on Burton Street next to Mackey Park. Registration is $20 and applications can be picked up at Odom Library, the Student Rec Center, Barrow Hall, or at one of the residence halls. All proceeds from the event will benefit the USO.
On Friday, VSU astronomy professor Martha Leake will take a closer look at the sky in a program called Meteorites, Rocks from Space. The program will take place in the VSU Planetarium. In addition to her program, local residents are also encouraged to look for meteor showers this week from the constellation Taurus and next week from the constellation Leo.
The Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge will hold a fee-free day tomorrow in honor of Veterans Day. Entrance fees for the swamp will be waived in honor of U.S. veterans, members of the armed forces, as well as their families. Day use access to Swamp Island Drive will be closed due to construction, but families can still enjoy hiking, fishing, canoeing, and much more.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Taylor Austin.
And I'm Ashli Reese. Have a great day.
rooms. VSU alumni and current students are invited to meet with nearly 50 potential employers and graduate school representatives. Individuals are urged to dress professionally, bring multiple copies of their resumes, and inquire about the numerous available opportunities. For a list of participating organizations and further information, visit valdosta.edu/career. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brittany Bates.
And I'm Taylor Austin. Have a great day.